Hi there, welcome to the second part of the Most Excited series. Sorry for being a long video, but I had a lot of them and I cut a little bit now, but let's dive in because I don't want to take so long. The next book comes out also on 7th of September is Small Town Monsters by Diana Rodrigues Wallace, which is Conjuring meets The Vow. I haven't seen The Vow, but I've seen The Conjuring and I like it. So we have Vera Martinez, who wants to escape the repetition of her parents being a demonologist, and she doesn't have the innate abilities of her parents, so she wants to run away of that situation. Then we have Maxwell Oliver, who should be spending his best summer before senior year in parties, is taking care of his little sister who is slowly becoming someone he doesn't know. He thinks she's grieving their father's death, but maybe something more sinister is coming, so exorcisms and everything. So, and it's in Latin inspired folklore. We have The Bones of Ruin by Sarah Rugley. So we have our main character, who is Iris. He's an African tightrope dancer in Victorian London, and she usually to be strange, but the most strange thing about her is she cannot die. She has no memories of her past, and she's obsessed with discovering who she is. And from this obsession, she met Adam Temple, a member of a mystery order called the Enlightenment Committee, and he knows more about her life than he seems to be, and he shares a terrifying revelation. The world is ending, and the committee will decide who lives and who dies. To choose the leader for this of the upcoming apocalypse, the committee holds a tournament of freaks, a macabre competition like Hunger Games, maybe, like tributes, fighters with fantastical abilities, and Adam wants Iris to be his warrior. And she wants the truth in return for, I compete, you tell me the truth about who I am. I like the idea, I like the concept, I like the tournament. I really like magical tournaments, so sounds good. This next book is perfect for fans of Six of Crows, at least what it says here, and it comes out also on September 7, and it's Monktives by M.G. Kuhn. On this new book we have Ria Cotella, which is her in the repetition of being like the deadliest blade and quickest on the town, but she's not her real name. She's been running off this ruler, the Guildmaster, the ruler of the 5 kingdoms of Tamahor, and she's being tracked. Every time that she runs away, she's tracked, so she decides, if I'm always being tracked, I'll be defeating from the inside. So she's go ahead on this Guildmaster stronghold, and she teams up with this crew of miscreants, smugglers and thieves, but things may not go well because they are as selfish as she is, and they have their own agenda. So you can see how this is. This is a fantasy. It says here young adult. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Another book that caught my attention was Act Cool by Toby McSmith. So we have our main character is August Green, who will land a covered spot on the prestigious School of Performing Arts in New York, but he has one problem. He's transgender, and his comfortable fathers won't accept that he's a transgender. And to stay in the city with his aunt, he must promise that he won't transitioning. But August thinks he's going to play the role, so he can play cool with the parents while go confidence to his talents, to his new friends, to this drama school. But let's see how this goes. I think it will go from he accepting and try to uplift his parents and say okay, it's enough, I'm gonna live my life, I'm gonna be who I really am. I hope so, because I don't know if they are gonna change their minds. Then Discover, it's just amazing, and the description is also very good, and it's The Splendor by Brina Shields, which comes out also on 7th of September. So it's a glamorous hotel that is magical, and the guests' fantasies are fulfilled once they are there in their dreams. So when our main character, Juliet's sister Claire, returns from the hotel, she's totally changed. The connection they had disappeared, she acts very weird, so Juliet decides to visit the Splendor as herself to see what it changed her sister. You can see he's here a lot of magic, manipulation, illusions. Sounds really good. I really like the concept. Let's see. Then I have this arc on NetGalley, and it's The Necklace by Matt Witten, which comes out on September 7, and it's a mystery thriller. So Susan Lantigo's daughter is killed 20 years ago, and after she's making a trip to see the killer's his killer's daughter, her killer's daughter execution. But when she is on the journey, she discovers a new lead that sees that the condemned man is innocent and the real killer is on free. So the FBI refused to reopen the case. They and Susan's own mother believes that she has an emotional breakdown, but she finds even strange to battle everything and try to find this murder and to accuse the right person. So sounds can be really good. I have this arc, so I hope in September I can read it and give my opinion to you. And let's see. Then I have my reservations with this one, but it's Mary, Will I Die? And it's basically a young adult about Bloody Mary. They say if you say Bloody Mary in the mirror, I don't know many times she will appear and she will reveal the person that you will love, or a skull that you will die in 5 years, or even say that you can come to our world. So friends do this. They can see, like, some see a person they love and they like some tricks on there. One of them, I think she's a skull and she dies. Like, I think the boy sees a skull, so but he pretends to see someone else, and 5 years later they are no longer friends. And the girl who is ours was always trying to avoid mirrors they use because they all see someone in the background. But when she breaks the glass because she's seen something, the next day a girl arrives and she names Mary. I'm afraid because I have Guinevere's Heart from an author, I don't know, I can put you the cover, but I had so high expectation, then it was just like so disappointing. I am afraid it is gonna be, but if it's well done, it's like so cool. Maybe, let's see. Then we have here The Charm Offensive by Alison Cockridge, and it says here it says here that basically has vibes of Red, White and Royal Blue, which I loved. So we have Death, who always believed in fairy tales, and he works on this reality show of dating that is Ever After. He is the most successful producer on the franchise history because he always scripts the perfect love story for his contestants, but his love life is just a disaster. But when the show casts this Charlie, which is a teenage star, but he's very problematic, and he's just like playing the romantic Prince Charming, just to clean his image of rehabilitation, or really to rehabilitate his image to national television. But Charlie doesn't believe in true love, or he just agreed to that just because of his image. So yeah, you can see they will start to fight, maybe an enemies to lovers, but like secrets in the background. Sounds really cute. The next book I have here is The Irritants of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova, and it's the Montoyas are used to live in a life without explanations. They know better than to ask why pantry never seems to run low or empty, or why their matriarch won't ever leave their homes in the Four Rivers, even for graduations, wedding, or baptism. But when the Orquídea Divina invites them to her funeral and to collect their inheritance, they hope to learn the secrets that she has held on tightly their own whole lives. Instead, Orquídea is transformed, leaving them with more questions than answers. 7 years later, her gifts have manifested in different ways. So we have here some magic realism, some magic. Sounds interesting, but they have like this agent figure who is trying to tear the family free to destroy the Orquídea's line, and they, of course, they are trying to defend their lineage. So it sounds really cool. I don't lie, it sounds really cool. The next book is The Corpse Queen by Ethel Herman, and this is a feminist historical thriller. We have Molly Green, who is going to live with his aunt, and she assumes she's just been sold for labor because she doesn't believe she has a hand, but she actually has a hand, and she's very, very healthy. But the secret of this healthy comes with a price. Molly's aunt Ava steals bodies for medical students to practice surgical procedures. Okay, this is set on 1850s, so it makes sense. And Molly has to learn her aunt's trade in the death of the night, and she explores the mansion by day. So you can see the lessons held at the old search of her aunt's property. We have the enigmatic Dr. Lascelles Lancers, which are adding extremely of knowledge and power. And then we have this Stealing Corpse. I think it's an historical fiction, and I'm really excited to see, and it sounds really cool. Now I have a geeky romance, which is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, which is fall on September 14. It's basically a PhD candidate that she doesn't believe in last romance, but then geeky stuff and trying to make everything comes. It says here it's a fake romance, it's a comedy. You know, it sounds cool and it sounds geeky. I just say that, you know, like pop culture references, fake dating, geek, science, so sounds cool. Now, he's a problematic author, but the book sounds amazing, and it's Empire of Empire by Jay Kristoff. Like, he's an asshole, yes, but the book sounds really good, which is about fantasy. It's been 27 years since the last sunrise. The vampires won the war against humanity, but only the Silver Saint, one of the last ones, and he's basically telling his story because he's imprisoned by these monsters. Yeah, let's see how it is. B already bought it, so maybe I'll ask her. Now, this I have a pre-order and I'm really excited. It's Iron Widow by Xianzhan Zhao. She's a YouTuber. She's amazing, and this book sounds amazing. It's Pacific Rim meets Handmaid's Tale, and it's a taking up of the only Chinese female emperor ever. So we have Zhenqian, which is where the Chinese emperor is inspired, and they have like the giant walls of China protecting the people against aliens, and they have to use these big machineries which are piloted by a man and a woman. Usually the woman die and they are connected with the machines by acupuncture, and they connect like a psychic bond that kills one of them. But then Zhenqian, which is our main character, offers her as a concubine, which means he's a female pilot. And when she kills him, she offers herself as a concubine, and when she puts herself with a man who killed her sister, she killed him with a psychic link and emerged on the cockpit like light, and she's labeled as the Iron Widow. Although someone who killed the army says we cannot like let someone as good as her live, so she teams up with the strongest and the most controversial male pilot, and it's like has a lot of romance. It's a fantasy. It's amazing. The cover is like amazing, and she has another book comes out next year which has hints of Yu-Gi-Oh. I can't wait. Now we have here one that is She Who Rides the Storm by Kathleen Sangster, which comes out on September 21st, and it's so here we have shapeshifters that rule the Commonwealth using magic that sucked the people's subject souls, and years later a new tomb has been uncovered, and despite the legend that disturbing shapeshifter find a resting place will awaken once again, the warlord wants to dig it up. But then we have like different characters trying to dig it up for a reason, and we have here for all four are out to steal the same cursed sword rumored to be the very bottom of the tomb. But of course some treasure should never see the light of day, and some secrets are best left buried. So you can see the consequences here. We have a healer, a runaway member of the warlord devoted order, a snotty archaeologist, and a girl desperate to escape her life. So you can see how this is going to play, and it sounds really, really good. Now we have here Gunter Magic by J.S. Cayley, which is a new a new adult fantasy, and it's in a kingdom where magic fools everything from street lamps to horse so dark side of magic a little bit. The Mage Guild of Penador Hill's power equals to the king. So when Lord Edmund Infant's son is kidnapped by the ruthless Alet Guild, he turns to one of the persons who's feared even by the most magical adept, the Gutter Magic. And while she's trying to rescue the king's son, she will uncover the whole enemy of her past. a long law that could lead to the death of countless innocents. You can see a lot of magic, a lot of battles. Sounds really cool. It has like, it's a small book, that's why I'm afraid. Maybe it's a trilogy, but sounds really cool. And I don't know why it's gutter magic. Maybe tell me in the comments. Why do you think it's a gutter magic? Now, from our boy TJ Klune, we have Under the Whispering Door. I won't say that I like very much the Housing Trilogy, but this one has a character named Ugu. So if it has a character named Ugu, I'm gonna read it because it's hard to find. It's basically a ghost story. We have Wallace Price, who is dead, and the Reaper collects him in his funeral, but instead of to leave him into the afterlife, he takes him to a small village in the mountain where he met the tea shop runner, Ugu. And he serves locals as the ferryman souls who need to cross. But Wallace doesn't want to cross, and he starts to, because he thinks he doesn't live, and Ugu helps him to try to learn about things he missed in his life, but he has like only 7 days. Sounds really good. It's gonna be very sad. Last 4 books. We have Dark Rise by C.S. Pakat, which is Ancient World of Magic is No More. Its heroes are dead, its halls are ruined, and the great battles between light and dark are forgotten. 16-year-old Will is on the run to pursue the man who killed his mother, when an old servant tells him to his destiny to fight beside the Steel Wards. He's ushered into a world of magic when he must train to play the viral role in the upcoming battle against the dark. As London is threatened by the Dark King's return, the reborn of the heroes and villains of long forgotten wars begin to draw the battle lines. As the youngest descendants of the light and dark step into the destiny of their roles, all the alliances, all intimacies, and all flames are awakened. So you can see, like, I really like this concept. Old magic, new relationships, amazing. Now, next book is on September 28th and is The Light of Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. And this is Shizuke Satomi make a deal with the devil. To escape the nation, she must sacrifice 7 other violence prodigies. She has already delivered 6, and she finds a 7th one. But on her way, she meets someone who will mess it up a little bit with the heart and make her a change. Maybe she will not be damned. She could love her. You can see how this goes, but I really like the concept of a curse and giving souls to the demons. It sounds really cool. And I think it's a sci-fi, so it's set on space, maybe like spaceships. Sounds interesting. And the last book I have here is Before We Disappear by Sean and David Ashnichan. So we have 2 main characters with Jack Navian, who is a clear trickery and moral flexibility, who has served his entire life the Enchantress, who basically steals from people, and she doesn't have tricks, but he makes the tricks and makes like the trickery more flexible to his life to make the show. And when they are forced to flee the continent to America, they arrive at Seattle in 1909, Alaska Yukon Pacific Welfare Exposition, and they start to be there. But when they starting there, they have another like illusionist, like Laszlo, that overshadowed the Enchantress. So she's like, go see how it is. So they start connection, and they start to like enemies to lovers, and start to connect how it's possible to do that. So guys, this is the second part of the most excited books. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you get new releases, and I hope you talk about them. I want to see, and I want to know if you like them. Yeah, I post videos every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I'll see you guys in the next video.